Hi, this is Justin Smith for the Listen Now campaign, an initiative from Tobin Brothers Funerals. And please make sure you keep following that hashtag and be part of these conversations around mental health. It's just hashtag Listen Now on any of the social media platforms. And before we wrap up the campaign, I wanted to check back in with Managing Director of Tobin Brothers Funerals, James MacLeod. James, for you, how do you think the campaign's gone? What's the response been like?
Well, I think that the response has been very positive, and I think that it's been very timely, these videos, and I think that we've touched on a lot of things. Certainly, our guests have touched on a lot of things that we're feeling, that we're seeing, and I guess because so many of them are experts in their fields, they've been able to affirm and to reassure us, I guess, that the way that we're feeling at this time in lockdown in September in 2021 in Melbourne, and I think that's been a good thing for people to hear and to reassure them.
That's really interesting you say that, because I think you're right. It's isolation. You can be sitting here thinking, look, I'm the only person that feels this way. So to hear the experts and the people on the front line that are dealing with this to say, oh, no, you're not imagining it. It is, the intensity is certainly there. I mean, the people that I've been speaking to, the experts in the area and the people that are just touched by this emotionally, I think one thing I'm picking up on, James, is the concern that this is going to keep going. So, we have the so-called roadmap that's in place. When we come out of this, we can't drop the ball on the mental health, can we? It's going to still be there as a problem.
Yeah. The, Steve Parnas, Dr. Steve Parnas, really touched on his video, and I just thought he was so generous with what he shared in the sense of what he's dealing with professionally, but he's separated from his family too, who are interstate. He's working extensive hours, often 7 days a week and long hours, and certainly long shifts, and extended away from his family. He's going home from a busy casualty environment, accident and emergency, to
empty
life
house,
on his own without his family. His son celebrated his 21st birthday the other day, and I just thought, jeepers creepers, that really resonated with me and hit home to me that here's someone that's doing so much for our community at this time, putting their health and well-being on the line, and they're separated, by not only one state boundary, which you can't go into, but two state boundaries, which you cannot go into. Yeah. And I just thought I really, really related well to that. And you're right about the mental health, Justin. I was fascinated with the new pop-up centres that they're going to put around the state, and the announcement from the mental health minister and James MacLeod just in recent days. I'm fascinated about, and I think that's a great initiative, but we need people to be able to work in those sites too. And, all the people that I speak to that work in mental health are very stretched beyond capacity at this current time. So I think it's a great initiative. I just hope that we've got sufficient professionals to be able to service the need, which is very, very evident right across our state.
Yeah, that's the thing I noticed, talking to psychologist Jackie Lauder, who's a friend of ours, and Michael Carr-Gregg and people like that, and Shelley Tennant, the paramedic, who's a really good scout, a great Victorian, and they are just run ragged. They don't have another minute in the day to be able to spare. They're just the level of people they're seeing, and that's got to be taking a toll on them. So, you're right. Those pop-up centres are going to be good, but how are we going to back up the staff that will be manning these things? How are we going to give them a little respite? Because it's going to be something, isn't it?
Yeah, and we need it so badly. I remember. Following the, sadly, where Tobin Brothers were heavily involved in assisting the coroner with Black Saturday, and we saw the results and the mental health need in the communities we went into. I was spent the best part of a week in Marysville there, and just to see and work with some of the locals there, and to see, our work was completed there in a week. they were living and breathing that place and that experience forever and a day. And I often reflected on that, and I reached out to a federal member following last year's fires, across the state in southern New South Wales, and I just said, we've really got to focus on the mental health, because we clean up the fires and the rebuild, but these people are still there, living it, breathing it, and working through it. And I just think that we've just got so many things that have followed one another that have impacted on our communities in various different ways. We've got fire, we've had floods, we've had droughts, we've had COVID-19, and the list goes on. Is that I see our mental health as being a number one priority in our health systems in moving forward for the very foreseeable future, because we see it in funerals every day. People have had to pick and choose how many people can go to a loved one's funeral. They can have 10. Just the people that haven't been able to work through their own grief by physically attending a funeral, that's going to last and stay with people until they're able to work through it, if they're able to work through it for some time. So we've got plenty of work to do in this area, and we just cannot abandon it. We just got to keep on the case of government, keep banging the door, and ensure that we can keep providing the support that our communities so much need in moving forward.
And what you say about the Black Saturday fires too, I remember in 2010 and 2011 particularly, on the first hot day of the summer, or the first high fire danger day, with a northerly wind coming in, the panic, that would come across people, and the stress that would cause to feel that heat again, with, Black Saturday so fresh in their memory. I wonder how that's going to manifest itself with coronavirus, how we're going to feel it in the next couple of years. We've really got to keep an eye on that and allow people the opportunity to sort of get that out of their system so it doesn't get hold of them too much.
Yeah, I think that, Tony Walker from Ambulance Victoria gave a good analogy last year in Listen Now video, where he talked about the importance if he goes to his doctor for everything from his neck down, and from his neck up, he goes and sees another professional. And I just think I just resonated with that, and related to it so well. It's so simple, but it's something that we really need to keep promoting and to continue, that there's no stigma. That it's important that we have a check-in. We do that with everything else, whether it be our cars, etc. And I just think it's so very important that we do it with ourselves.
Congratulations on and well done for you and your team, and the way that you have put this together is so professional, and has reached a lot of people. You and everyone at Tobin Brothers should be congratulated for that.
Yeah, no, thank you, Justin. It's one of the things that we hang our hat on at Tobin Brothers is community, and this is such an important message that we get out to the community. And it's so important that whilst there's so much loneliness and so many feel alone, particularly during this time of isolation and lockdown, to reassure people that their feelings are not unique, that there's plenty of other people that feel like them, to reassure them and to advise them that there is help out there. And so it's been a pleasure, for us to assist in trying to get the message out there. So grateful to all of those that contributed to these videos, and it's been a really impressive list of people right across the broad spectrum of professions and services. And thank you for so generously leading them through their discussions. It's been tremendous, and we look forward to continuing on in supporting those that are suffering, in these this absolute time of need.
Thanks, James.